내 이름은 연지영. 믿어지지 않겠지만 난 2025년에서 왔다. 여기 어떻게 오게 됐냐고?
Hot take, Yoona might just be the most successful idol-turned-actress in K-drama history. Bold claim? Definitely. But let's break it down, because the real question is, who actually wears the crown? Suzy's fans will tell you it's her. IU stans will argue she's untouchable, some will throw in Hyeri, Crystal, or even Seolhyun for the mix, but when you zoom out and really look at the receipts, one name just keeps standing front and center: Yoona. She's headlined record-breaking dramas, starred in blockbuster films, and somehow still maintains the global pull of a K-pop icon. Which makes you wonder, has Yoona not only won the debate, but completely redefined what it means to be an idol actress? Before we start handing her the crown, let's rewind. Because Yoona's journey from nation's center to a respected actress, it's not exactly a walk in the park. So, how exactly did she pull it off? Born May 30th, 1990, Yoona is 35 today, which means she's been in this industry longer than some K-drama fans have even been alive. At just 12, she entered SM Entertainment's famously brutal trainee system. 5 years of relentless training later, she debuted at 17 as the face of Girls' Generation. And let's be real, SNSD weren't just popular. They were the girl group of a generation. If you're a second-gen fan, you know the deal. Their songs were everywhere, their music videos shattered records, and their image basically set the blueprint for global K-pop. But here's the twist. Barely a year into SNSD run, Yoona dove headfirst into acting. Which makes you wonder, how do you survive two of the most cutthroat industries in Korea without burning out? To answer that, you've got to rewind even further. Not to her debut, but to her childhood. Yoona grew up with her dad and older sister after her mom left when she was young. She rarely speaks about it, but you can feel the shadow it cast. That early hardship gave her a quiet kind of resilience. The backbone you absolutely need if you're going to withstand the extremes of fame. And she needed that resilience. Because if K-pop is brutal, K-dramas, they can be absolutely unforgiving, especially if you're an idol daring to act. Back in the late 2000s, the stigma was relentless. The second an idol was announced as a lead, critics rolled their eyes. Headlines practically wrote themselves. Just another pretty face. A rating stunt. And unlike rookie actors, who had the luxury of failing and improving, idols weren't allowed to stumble. One stiff performance, one awkward scene, and the public branded you a fraud. Careers ended before they even began. Now imagine being Yoona. Not just any idol, but the center of Girls' Generation, the nation's girl group. Her name guaranteed attention, but also painted a target on her back. Every line delivery, every tear, every casting announcement. People weren't just watching, they were waiting to prove she didn't belong. Her first big test came in 2008 with the daily drama, You Are My Destiny. And against the odds, she crushed it. The show pulled in over 40% ratings, and Yoona walked away with Best New Actress not just at the KBS Drama Awards, but at the Baeksang Arts Awards too. But here's the thing, the shadow of being an idol actress never really went away. For years, every project felt like a tug of war. If ratings soared, people credited her fandom, not her performance. If they dipped, she was blamed as the weak link. It was a lose-lose situation. Every success had an asterisk, every role another trial she had to survive just to prove she deserved to be there. And still, she kept getting cast. Why? Because despite all the noise, Yoona had something you just couldn't deny. People showed up for her. After Cinderella Man, she bounced back with Love Rain. Sure, critics called it slow, but overseas, it exploded. Especially in Japan, selling at record prices and proving Yoona had international pull that went way beyond Korea's borders. So, was she really failing? Or was she quietly building a global fan base the critics couldn't see? Then came the K2 in 2016, a political action thriller with Ji Chong-wook. Some dismissed her role as unnecessary, but Yoona looked at an industry that doubted her and basically said, "Fine, I'll do action. I'll take grittier roles." Watch me grow. And honestly, she did. Even in a show dominated by explosions, stunts, and Ji Chang-wook's fight scenes, Yoona carved out space for herself, bringing vulnerability and tension into a genre no one expected her in. Now, here's the twist. While Yoona's drama career has always been under the microscope, every role sparking debate, criticism, and idol actress chatter, her film career, a whole different story. Because the moment she stepped onto the big screen, it was like the rules changed. Suddenly, all that noise faded, and the box office numbers did the talking. Take Confidential Assignment in 2017. This wasn't just a hit. It was a box office monster, one of Korea's top-grossing films that year. Some thought it might have been a one-off fluke. Nope. The sequel in 2022? Even bigger. How many idol actresses can say they leveled up in the film world with a sequel? That's practically unheard of. And then came Exit in 2019, a disaster action comedy alongside Jo Jung-suk. Over 9 million people watched it. 9 million. For a non-franchise summer film, that's not just a hit. That's legendary territory. By that point, the critics couldn't pretend it was luck anymore. The audience was voting with their wallets, and they were voting for Yoona. So yeah, maybe every role felt like a trial. Maybe she never completely shook off the idol actor stigma. But instead of breaking under that weight, she turned it into fuel and built a career portfolio that's basically bulletproof. We're talking hits in dramas, blockbusters in films, over a decade of staying power as an idol, and global influence that still hasn't faded since 2007. And this is where it gets really interesting, because Yoona's career doesn't exist in a vacuum. If we're asking whether she's the most successful idol actress in K-drama history, then we've got to stack her up against the other heavyweights: Suzy, IU, Hyeri, Crystal, Seol-yoon. So, let's put it out there. Who really wears the crown? Take Suzy. She's the undisputed CF queen. Her face is everywhere. Billboards, commercials, you name it. She's headlined some of the buzziest dramas of the last decade, and when she's good, she's magnetic. But here's the catch. Her acting reviews? Up and down. When the script fits her, she shines. When it doesn't, the criticism comes fast. So yes, Suzy is untouchable in popularity, no question. But does popularity really equal consistency? Then there's IU, the critics' darling. My Mister isn't just good. It's often called one of the greatest K-drama performances of all time. Hotel del Luna, she carried a fantasy blockbuster and made it feel personal. And let's not even kid ourselves. When Life Gives You Tangerines proved she's not just a drama star, but a full-on powerhouse, earning her the Best Actress award at the 4th Blue Dragon Series Awards. The only catch? IU is selective. Really selective. Her filmography is smaller, which means when she acts, she nails it. But she simply doesn't have the same volume of work Yoona's been stacking for over a decade. And of course, you can't forget Hyeri, Seol-yoon, and Crystal. Hyeri became a household name overnight with Reply 1988, a once-in-a-generation role that cemented her in K-drama history. Seol-yoon balanced idol life with acting while becoming one of Korea's biggest endorsement darlings. And Crystal? She's built this cool, scene-stealing reputation. Always versatile, always sharp, and never feeling boxed in. All three had their moments in the spotlight. But here's the difference. With Suzy, IU, Hyeri, Seol-yoon, and Crystal, you can point to one drama, one performance, one era where they dominated the conversation. Their peaks are undeniable. But with Yoona, it's not just one peak. It's a career that's stretched across 2 industries, music and acting, across domestic and international audiences, across 15 years. She's been consistently relevant, consistently bankable, and consistently evolving. Something very few idol actresses can claim. She's also not boxed into one lane. She's headlined romance, comedy, thrillers, even action. And every time she surprises audiences with something new. Most idol actresses find a niche and stick to it. Yoona keeps expanding hers. First up, Big Mouth in 2022. This was Yoona at her grittiest, playing a nurse trapped in a nightmare of corruption, fighting to save her husband while uncovering brutal truths. For a lot of people, this was the moment she finally shook off that idol actress label once and for all. And then, because she's Yoona, she flipped it completely. Enter King the Land in 2023. The series turned into a full-blown global Netflix hit. Week after week, it sat in Netflix's top 10 worldwide non-English shows, trending in over 30 countries, and finishing as one of the most-watched K-dramas of the year. And now, her latest project, Bon Appétit, Your Majesty. This one's got everything: time travel, palace intrigue, romance, and food. Yoona plays Yeonji Young, a modern-day chef who gets zapped back to the Joseon dynasty during a solar eclipse. Suddenly she's navigating royal court life, dazzling the young king with her cooking, and falling into a fairy tale romance. And the numbers, they speak for themselves. It came out swinging. Number 3 worldwide overall on Netflix within the first week of its premiere, number 1 for non-English shows, number 1 in 23 countries, and top 10 in a jaw-dropping 89 countries. Even in tough markets like the US and Canada, it broke through. Number 4 in the US, number 3 in Canada. But here's the thing, people aren't just watching the drama, they're watching for Yoona. The buzz online is everywhere. Some fans are straight up saying she's the reason they tuned in. Others are calling it one of the best rom-coms of the year. She's hilarious, she's effortless, and she even pulled off believable chemistry with Lee Chae-min, something a lot of people were skeptical about at first. And it's not just charm carrying her. Yoona actually put in the work. She trained for 3 months before filming, attending a cooking academy, working side by side with professional chefs and a culinary advisor, even learning proper knife skills and kitchen terminology. And it shows. Every cooking scene feels authentic, and that extra prep is a huge reason people keep saying she nailed this role to perfection. Another thing that makes Yoona a standout is that she's also become the face of prestige in K-drama culture. From hosting the Baeksang Arts Awards to walking red carpets at international festivals, she represents Korean entertainment on a global stage. And what probably seals the deal for us? It's not just her own wins. It's the fact that Yoona opened the doors wider for everyone who came after. She proved idol actresses could be taken seriously, that they could headline primetime dramas, carry entire productions on their shoulders, and still deliver both ratings and box office. She showed that being an idol didn't have to mean being a pretty face stunt cast. It could mean being bankable, versatile, and respected. And let's be honest, without Yoona paving that path, would today's rookies even be getting these kinds of opportunities this fast? Would casting directors be so quick to give idols a chance at leading roles? Would audiences be as open to watching them without rolling their eyes? Probably not. That's the legacy that pushes her from successful to the standard. Because it's one thing to build your own career. It's another thing entirely to shift an entire industry while doing it. So, yeah, we think Yoona might just be the most successful idol-turned-actress in K-drama history, and we stand by it. The receipts are all there: record-breaking dramas, blockbuster films, global influence, and a career that's lasted over 15 years without slowing down. Of course, we know this is a hot take. Some of you are going to argue Suzy. Some will swear by IU. And hey, that's what makes this debate fun. So drop your pick in the comments. Who really deserves the crown? Now, if you're here because you're loving Bon Appétit, Your Majesty, we've got you covered. Want more laughs? Want more lighthearted, feel-good K-dramas? Click on this video right here, where we break down some of the funniest and most chaotic comedy K-dramas you need to watch next.